Welcome back. This is Casey's Book Corner. This is my second video. I'm excited. I'm still here, which is, hopefully that's a good thing, we'll find out. And I'm here to hopefully create a bit of a one-stop shop for book reviews, recommendations, lists, a little bit of a chit-chat, and just generally a place where everybody loves reading, loves to chat about reading, and maybe like me, has partners who are fed up about them chatting about reading to them. Sorry. So, welcome along. Let's have a little bit of fun today. We're gonna grab a seat, have a wee cup of Joe. I've got a little cappuccino here. It's good. It's instant though. Could be better. Let's crack on with the video. Okay, let's get on with the video. Get into the meat and potatoes of it all. It's roasting, by the way, and I'm about to start work, so I'm gonna get cracking right into it. So, we're gonna talk about The Hobbit. Look at this cute little edition that I have as well. Is that not adorable? It's really nice. It came in this little box, I'll show you. This cute little box. It's got little postcards and maps and stuff. It says here, full colour fold out map of Wilderland, showing Bilbo's journey there and back again in glorious detail. Glorious! That's quite cute. Bought that second hand absolutely ages ago, and it's been basically sat there just waiting for me to read it. So I started reading this at the start of June, and it took me pretty much the full month to finish. Look at the little pictures and stuff. It's nice. It's nice. Let me give you a quick rundown on plot. So basically, Bilbo Baggins is a hobbit. Hobbits are little versions of men with hairy feet. They don't wear shoes. They live in holes, kind of in the ground or like in the sides of hills. They like to eat loads of food. They just like home comforts, right? Kind of like me. They love a nap. They love their food. They just like getting on with it. Just get through the day-to-day. No shenanigans. Hobbits don't do shenanigans. That is until Gandalf rocks up. Gandalf, not to be confused with Dumbledore, even though from what I can gather they look almost identical. They are both wizards, and they both ruin things by not telling people what in the hell is going on. If Gandalf would tell the whole story from the start, this story would not have been half as dramatic. That's a bugbear of mine. I'm like, why are we all keeping secrets? Why are we like, oh, you'll find out when you find out? Shh, just tell me what's going on. So anyway, Gandalf rocks up to Bilbo's house with, I think it's 12 dwarves. And every time I read through some of the names of these dwarves, I was picturing Santa's reindeer, because their names all kind of rhyme with each other. There's like Owen and Glowin and Bowen and all this kind of stuff, and it reminded me of like Vixen and Nixon and Blitzen. I don't think Nixon was a reindeer. That was a president. Pretty sure that wasn't a reindeer. But you get the drift, right? I constantly was thinking about reindeer whenever their names were mentioned. He rocks up with these bunch of dwarves and says to Bilbo basically, I need you to go and find some treasure that's being guarded by a dragon. Off you pop. And Bilbo's like, I'd really rather not. But he goes. He goes and puts himself into perilous danger to go and rescue this treasure, basically, from this dragon. I won't tell you any outcomes, because this is a spoiler-free channel, but let's just say I was a little disappointed with Bilbo's involvement in a lot of the major things that happened. I feel like most of the plot of the book potentially have just happened with or without him. Like irrelevant. I don't know why it's not called the Dwarfs instead of being called The Hobbit. But yeah, the story itself I quite liked. I know that this is the build-up, the prologue to Lord of the Rings. even though I have never watched Lord of the Rings, I've never read Lord of the Rings, I watched one Hobbit movie at the cinema when it first came out and got a numb bum for 3 hours, only to find out that they weren't even at the mountain yet. I was thoroughly disappointed and literally didn't watch any more. I think I may have also watched one of the Lord of the Rings movies once, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep through it rather than soaking any of it in. So really, what I know about Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit has come from memes and my brother and my son, who both know way more about it than me. The story I liked. I liked that there was some little bits in there that I was slightly familiar with, some characters that I felt a little bit familiar with, and I was like, ooh, I didn't know that happened, and I know that that has something to do with the future books. I was like, cool. So it's not entirely a standalone book, but it does conclude. So you could potentially, you could totally read it on its own if you have already read Lord of the Rings. It gives you a little bit of a background. The story I liked. The writing style felt like I was wading through treacle. I was bored for probably like 60% of the book. They're just walking, moaning about being hungry, napping, moaning about being tired. It's like going on a holiday with me. Bilbo is my spirit animal because all he thinks about is food and getting a good night's sleep, and I'm like, yeah, that's me too. I'm with you there, Bilbo. The writing style is so verbose and unnecessary. Now, bearing in mind though, this was published in like 1937. I'm sure it was 1937 that this was published. Like, this is the style of the time kind of thing. Really poetic and verbose, and, you know, really, he's trying to build a world too, and I completely understand that takes a lot because it's not set out like Earth, it's not, places are different, you know, the people that live there are all different, so they need to be described. But do I need to know the family tree of every single dwarf in this story? No. A couple of them, possibly relevant. The rest of them, no, I couldn't care less. Could not care less who sired you and who sired them and what your great-great-grandparents did with all their armour or whatever. So I was a bit bored with just the unnecessary dialogue. I would have preferred more time to have been spent on the action, which I felt was over very quickly, when the walking never seemed to be over. There was always more descriptive talk about walking and walking and walking. I gave this 4 stars, right? And I think one of the stars was basically only because it is The Hobbit and I know how beloved it is. And when I take a step back, I can totally appreciate that it's a decent story and the world building is nuts and the descriptions are like they are exceptional. But there's no way I'm going to crank that up to 5 because I was bored for most of it. He's getting an extra star because it's Tolkien, basically. That's really the only reason. If I had picked this up off a shelf and it was something else with all that hoo-ha, it probably would have been like a 3-star, like solid story, but woo! But he's getting 1 just for who he is and just because it's The Hobbit. So 4 solid stars. It's not one I would read again. I am glad that I read it because now I am, you know, the last person on the planet has now read The Hobbit because I feel like I was the only one who hadn't yet. It took me a month because I had to keep putting it down and braving myself to come back to it again, but I got through it, and I've now also read The Fellowship of the Ring, which I'm not reviewing now because I have to go to work, you know. But that's my overall thought so far on Hobbit Land. I was not delighted by it, let's just say that. But I do completely appreciate why so many people love it. Anywho, that is the end of my review. I'm going to get myself ready and toddle off to work now, so that'll be fun. Happy Friday. Whatever you're doing this weekend, I hope you have a great time. Monday, I'll be putting up my first weekly roundup, so you'll see everything that I've read this week. Everything that I'm planning to read next week will be winging its way to you on Monday. But other than that, thank you so much for coming along. Give a wee tickle to the old subscribe button if you fancy it. That would be nice. I'll speak to you guys on Monday. Bye for now. Bye.